Hello, everyone. I was thinking about Lorne recently. I was actually recording my Lorne Finance in Gel 2, Part 2, basically, and I discovered something that made me think. As you all know, Lorne tried to sue NBC, but he sued NBC in Kentucky. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess he was already in Kentucky, so he might as well sue them there. He lost, unsurprisingly. But after he lost, he says, well, if I lose in one state, I guess I can try again in another state. And that's exactly what Lorne did, or at least that's how I understand his logic. And so he sued NBC in New York too, as you can see here. Why New York? I'm guessing that Lorne, he saw that the NBC was, their headquarters were in New York, so he says, oh, I'm going to sue them in their own turf. It's like Napoleon when he invaded Russia. He said, okay, I'm going to invade Russia. I'm going to attack their homeland, their capitals, I'm going to strike at their heart. So that might explain why he chose New York. Maybe he thought the court there would be more sympathetic with him. Big disclaimer, they won't be. I mean, while we're at it, he should have sued them in California. Like, I don't even know how that works to choose a state. My understanding is that you need to sue either at the place where you live the prejudice. You need to stay in the same state where the stuff happened, basically, or the state where the company is headquartered. So Lorne didn't ask any question, he did both. And that's his lawsuits in New York. That's actually in 2012. About three year and a half ago now. Time flies, unsurprisingly, he's trying to sue Informa Pauperis. At the time that he does that, sorry, that's my phone. At the time he does that, Lorne is still in jail. Wait a minute, that's December 12, I think. Yeah, that's December 5. Let me check real quick, because I'm mixed up with the US. I think that was December, no. So exactly... that was in November. You see, November 13, 2012. So that one here was in December 5th, 2012. So 3 years and 6 days ago, Lorne was just out of jail. He had been let out in November, on November 12th, if my memory is right. The holy blessed day, So he was let out. He didn't really lose any time. As soon as he was out, he sued in New York. And there's a part in it that is quite revelatory, and I want to discuss it. So again, he does everything, and he files the same shit, except now he adds some extra details that he invented, so it's pretty funny. So, blah, 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 I'm the plaintiff, and I'm filing Informa Pauperis. No big surprise there, right? Then he says, if you are presently employed, now he wrote the prison, like, oh, I'm employed by the Fort Dix Correctional Institution. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not employed by them anymore, I've been released. Oh, so now he just struck it off, It's like, oh, cool, now I'm unemployed, I don't have a job. If you are not presently employed, state the time, blah, blah, blah. It's so personal to file out this, like, I would never file that. I would just pay the fee, like, to write, like, I don't know, I don't like to file that kind of form with private details on yourself, like, state the date of your termination of last employment. It's none of your fucking business. Mind your own business. I have a right to my privacy. You must answer even if you're incarcerated. And now he says approximately $2.5 per month. I guess Lorne got to pay. He got demoted, because I remember that in a state jail he made like $20-30 a month, and now he makes $2.50 per month. What a fucking idiot! Like, that's not even a way. Like, don't bother writing that. Like, $2.50 a month. Like, that's not even, like, you can go beg on the street for an hour, you're gonna make more than that. You can pick up cans, like, you can pick up empty cans in the recycling bin, you're gonna make more than that in a day. Like, what the fuck? I'm sure the guy really likes it. Oh yeah, 2.5 thousand a month, 2.5K a month. No, $2.50. What the fuck? You work at the Walmart for like 15 minutes, you make more than that. What a fucking idiot, Lorne. And then the best part, have you received any money? He says, my mother, when I was incarcerated, $20 to $30 per month. That's very accurate. He could have written he could have just written $30 per month, He could have written 25. No, he's writing both amount. Like, usually she sends me between 20 and 30. And she should have sent me more. I wanted more candy. mommy doesn't love me. And it's not even true. She actually sent him like hundreds of dollars. Like, it's pretty crazy. Lorne is a fucked up person. And now the best part. The part that, in my opinion, if I were there, I would just toss my lawsuit away. Are you receiving any public benefit? Yes. $200 per month. Food stamp. I'm like, whoa. 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 Before I interpret that, I just want to show you. Do you have any money, including any money in a checking or savings account? If so, how much? No. Do you own any apartment, house? No. Do you pay for rent or mortgage? No. No, you don't have to pay for rent or mortgage in jail. That's a good point about it. The amount of people you pay money. Then he says, I just got out of incarceration from Fort Dix, New Jersey. It was so bad. People are so mean. And I'm trying to find a job. I am living with a family member until I'm able to support myself. I've never been able to support myself before, but now suddenly I will. I was released from the custody of BOP on November 6, 2012. Lorne Armstrong. That's quite weird, like the special financial circumstances, and you write like, oh, I was released from a BOP, like I'm an ex-prisoner, like that's pretty special. I don't know why he writes that. Like, I think already when you write that you have like no money at all in any checking, no bonds, no stocks, no notes, no automobiles, nothing. You could stop here. Like, that's just humiliating to write. To write that you're out of jail, and now he signs that November 20. He signs that. He says, I live with a family member. Like, oh God, my dumbass brother. I live in his house now. It's so mean. I think it was his brother, one of his older brother. Fuck you. If it was my brother, I'm not sure I would take in him. Depend on not for that crime at least. Maybe he saw his nieces. Maybe he shared the room with his nieces. You know, like, okay, Lorne, you can come back and live with us, but we don't have a room for you. You're gonna share. We're gonna share the room with your nieces. You can stay with the youngest or the oldest. Which one do you want to stay with? And you already know what Lorne's gonna say. Like, oh God, the youngest. Are we gonna sleep in the same bed? No, Lorne, you're gonna sleep on the floor. Oh, that's all right. I'm used to it. Fucking idiot. But the best part here is do you receive the food stamp? That shocked me. Like, I wonder why it is. Like, we don't have food stamps here, so I'm not sure how it works. I did read a bit on it, and you have a card, I think. Like, they give you a card, and you cannot buy anything at the store. Like, you cannot buy alcohol, I think. You cannot buy beer. You have to buy like food, but it's kind of stupid because let's say you have $50. And you have $200 in food stamp. You're going to use the food stamp to buy food, and you're going to use the $50 to buy alcohol, you know. Here, we don't do that. We just give poor people money, like, for free. And I'm not for that neither, just doing a comparison. And that made me think, like, Lorne is on food stamp getting out of jail. But if he's staying with a relative, you know, he doesn't have anything. We got that cleared out. But if he stays with a relative, how come he has food stamp, you know? I don't know, it's pretty weird. Like, you have your brother, your dumbass brother coming to live with you, and now you can go to the grocery store and buy food. So I wonder how it works. I mean, let's say you're poor in the US, you don't get, like, a place to live, you know? They don't give you, like, some kind of cheap apartment. They're just like, oh, we're going to give you $200 a month, and I guess it depends on every state. It's just weird that Lorne is living with a family member. The family member can host him, but he cannot feed him. I don't know. It seems pretty weird. Like, if he says he's with a family member, that's okay. They can feed you, you know. You can live with your mom. Your mom's going to feed you. We're not going to pay food stamp for you. Food stamp should be for example, the single mother with 3 children and she loses her job and she cannot find one. Now, I understand food stamp. But Lorne, he lives with a family member. You know, his family member is going to feed it. He's got to feed him. That's how I see it. And I'm seeing that like that, but would it honestly be a big loss if Lorne Armstrong starved to death? Would anybody cry about it? I mean, we would, but overall, think about it. That $200 per month, it's not money that was invented and pulled out of thin air. Somebody worked and paid taxes in Maine so that Lorne Armstrong could eat. In other words, there was someone waking up every morning to go to work. Sorry, Lorne is really tainting me. But somebody was waking up every morning to go to work, and he was paying taxes, and part of those taxes went to pay to make sure that Lorne could eat. Why? Who gives a shit? Like, it's time we stop being a bunch of pussies, okay? We pay taxes for the poor and the needy. Well, I guess none is poor and needy, but you know what I mean. If you were to pay taxes, why can't the money go to people who are sick, or they lose their jobs, or, they have to provide for their kids? That I understand. But for Lorne Armstrong, let him starve to death. We don't give a shit about it. Like, honestly, dude, the fact that he gets governmental assistance and he's a pedo rapist, that's disgusting. I would let him starve. Like, Lorne, if you want to eat, you can work. Like, find a job. I would give it Lorne. I'm not even sure I would give Lorne Armstrong a job. But if you want to eat, I don't know. It's not our problem. You can just search the trash can. The trash can, and find some food there. Or you can beg, or you can go pick up cans. That would be perfect. Lorne should be a beggar. That should be his job. Like, he would be on the street, and I would be like, I tried to rape Kayla. Give me money if you want me to eat and survive. And just see how long he lasts. But seriously, though, I think he's a leech. Like, now he's costing money to the taxpayer. It's a waste of money. Fucking Lorne. But that got me to think, When he was in Nashville, he wasn't all that much better in life. It's not like he suddenly had money. When he was in Nashville, he didn't have much money. He could barely pay rent. And he said to Kayla, like, if I don't get this job, I have to go to a work today, get paid today, or else I'm going to, like, have to go back to Maine. So that got me to think, maybe in Nashville, Lorne was on food stamp, That makes sense. Like, the little money he had, we know that Lorne didn't exactly have a good income in Nashville, and he didn't have exactly a lot of money. He's broke. He's completely broke. He's barely able to pay rent, and sometimes you have to go to work today, get paid today. And I'm guessing that those places pay something like $40 a day, maybe. Like, way below minimum wages. And to pay a rent, about $300. You have to work like 8 days a month at that place. And still, he managed to go out and sing karaoke, and he managed to drink and smoke, and, he has a truck. He has to pay for his license. He has to pay for the maintenance, I guess, the oil. So it makes sense to me that Lorne would be on food stamp. In Nashville. And that's something that he doesn't really discuss with Kayla. He doesn't say, like, Kayla, I received my food stamp in the mail. That's not exactly something you tell your sweet little baby girl. But the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that Lorne was on food stamp when he talked with Kayla. That would explain a lot, actually. For example, why doesn't he bring her a pizza? Well, he cannot order pizza with food stamps, The stuff he eats, mostly frozen food, and he probably pays for that with his food stamps. Again, Lorne wouldn't say that to his baby girl. He's probably ashamed, but at the same time, it's free money, right? $200 money food stamp, that's free money, so of course he's going to take them. And my understanding of applying for food stamp, I mean, if you can get food stamp as a release, an ex-con, an ex-prisoner, not any ex-prisoner, but a child rapist, and he can get food stamp, he probably could get food stamps in Nashville, And the other option for him would be to visit food bank, but the stuff he eats, I'm not sure he visited food bank. I think that Lorne saw it as too humiliating to go to food bank. So he probably, I don't know, I think you receive your food stamp loaded on your card every month. That's not so bad. So he went to the place to apply. He applied. He filed a form exactly like that. I don't earn money. I just arrived in Nashville. He bullshitted. Like, I just arrived in Nashville. I need a little plus to kick me up, blah, blah, blah. He filed the form, bam, and then he receives his food stamp every month. Now, what does it change? There's nothing shameful in taking food stamp. I mean, well, there is a little bit depending on your situation, but there are many people on food stamp, and it's a last recourse, and they need it, and I understand that, But at the same time, what's humiliating in this story is that what makes it so much funnier is that Lorne is talking to a girl that is the daughter of two millionaire doctors, and he somehow acts like he's a winner with her. Like he acts like he's like a big winner. Lorne Armstrong, the winner. He's like, I'm hot, Kayla. I'm super cool. And he acts very confident, and he screams at her. He lashes out at her like, Kayla, where were you? And he tries to control her, like, don't talk to Derek. And now he feeds on food stamp. Fucking Lord. And that would explain why he didn't bring her a pizza. Like, I didn't bring you pizza. They wouldn't take food stamp. Fucking asshole. This is the guy who didn't have enough gas to drive Kayla back to his place, And now we're supposed to believe that he's some kind of big winner. Like, I don't have enough gas to go back and forth and back and forth. In which universe does that seem nice, you know? In what universe does it seem nice to say, I don't have enough gas to drive back and forth again? Like, he sounds like a fucking loser, but he doesn't realize it. Lorne never realizes that he's a loser. And when he says, like, I'm on food stamp, Lorne doesn't realize that he's a goddamn loser. Now, I'm not saying that every person on food stamp is a loser. There are circumstances that could put you on food stamps. But let's agree that 37, with the assets you have, for example, if you're on food stamp and you have a big handicap, I can understand that. Even Dustin McFetridge, if he was on the food stamp, well, he's a pedo too, but you know what I mean. Lorne is perfectly healthy, and he supposedly made $100,000 a year, supposedly, and now he's on food stamp. Talking with Kayla, he's a fucking loser. And I can just imagine the scene where Kayla was real, and they go grocery shopping together, and Kayla, you're my niece, remember? If the clerk asks a question, you're my niece. And they go like to the grocery store, and Lorne's about to pay. He pulls out his food stamp, and Kayla is like, "What's this?" "Oh, it's a special card, Kayla." And then Kayla is like, "Is that Is that food stamp? You're on food stamp, Lorne? I thought you were gonna be a winner. I thought you were like a super hot guy. You sold tickets for a band that sounds like the Beatles. You're hot." And you know, the more I think about it, maybe he bought the bracelet on food stamp. I don't know if you can, but if you go to Walmart and you make like a grocery, you get some apples, you get some bananas, and then you put a bracelet and you try to pay for all that with a food stamp. I don't know if you can. Maybe not. Maybe Lorne had $3 on him and he bought that separately. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, but it makes sense. It really makes sense, because the little money that he makes from his stupid job as a telemarketer, and I'm not even sure he made money from a telemarketer. He might have never been paid for it, because that's how it is in that world. They don't exactly follow the law quite well. But it makes sense, right? He used his last savings to pay for his rent, the last money he has from leaving Maine. And then he works at the work today one day every week, and he gets like $40. And that's how he pays for beer and alcohol and cigarettes. Like, he's so broke. I don't think he drinks weak coffee out of choice. I think he can't afford coffee. I think. Okay, he says that he cannot afford cigarettes. He says it like, I have to roll my own cigarettes. They're much cheaper. So that makes sense to me. Anyway, all this to say, I think Lorne was in food stamp when he was talking to Kayla, and somehow that makes the whole pornography even better. You can just imagine that fucking loser. My food stamp. Oh God, I'm hungry. I want my food stamp to arrive. If not, I'll have to go work again. And I'm repeating myself, but there's no reason whatsoever Lorne couldn't be working. 37, he's healthy. He seems like a guy who could have a normal job. I hate to say it, but especially when he wears that shirt, he seems like the kind of guy, not exactly a genius. He's not going to cure cancer, but he could have a job in construction. He could have a job. He could have many jobs. He could do plumbing. He could do electricity. He could do septic tank. He did that in Washington for a little while, and then he left. And he could do that. He's not the kind of guy that I see on food stamp. He's not like heavily handicapped, or he's not like a bad streak in life that he was working for a company for 10 years and the company closed and blah blah blah. He's not like that. He's a guy that's been a loser for many years now. He's been a loser for like 10 years at least that we know of. 37, you have no money, nothing saved up. It's not like he had a bad luck. It's not like he lost everything in some crisis. No, it's just because he's a goddamn idiot. That's it. But all this to say about Lorne, at the end he gets a job, but how long is he going to keep it? At the end of the pornography, he gets a job to drive a lol, but how long is he going to keep that job? He had a few jobs during the pornography, Like, he was supposed to be working for a car selling, and then he works at the selling tickets, and he keeps that job for like a week and a half, and then he can't really find a job. He goes at the work today and all that. So how long would he keep the job about the law? Even after the first day, he says that he's tired. He's like, I don't know, driving a law all day, I don't like it. So I'm thinking that this job, he would have kept it maybe for 2 weeks. Fucking Lorne. So all this to say, Lorne is an even bigger loser than we thought. That I thought, at least. Fucking idiot. Imagine, really, the Lorneography, and imagine Lorne like, oh God, I want my food stamp to come. And he acts like he's some big shot. Oh, you're the daughter of two doctors. That's nothing. I'm Lorne Armstrong, you know. I don't know. It's another angle. It adds another dimension to the story. Thanks for watching, everyone. I had a blast.